it has happened. With the end of June comes also the end of my first reading planner and a reading journal, really. I have been uploading a setup video for these for the past 3 months or so, and now I want to take you through all of the things that I set up in here. There are some blank pages, things that I intended to do something on that I didn't, and pages that I skipped, and it's not 100% like full, but it's definitely done, and it's pretty chunky. If we compare it to my new reading journal, that's the difference, and this does have some setup already, so it's been chunked up just a hair. This was an A5 Archer and Olive dot grid journal, and we're just gonna get into it. It started as an art journal, so the first few pages aren't even reading journal related. So we've got this washi end page that I did. Let's see. Some swatches for some, what's it called? Sakura Pigma Microns. Crayola Super Tip swatch page. Some swatches for watercolors. So I bought this originally to experiment with watercolors. Then I did some playing around with it. I got this at the end of 2020. So I did buy this journal as part of the Archer and Olive Black Friday sale. And then I used it for a bit in December, did some watercoloring. Didn't even finish this project. I was supposed to color in all these different letters and I didn't. Random math, a pattern I didn't finish, more math, a 2021 cover page. And then I didn't think I was going to do full-on reading journaling. I thought I was just going to do like a book a month, a little bit of journaling. So this was for January. And the book is A Court of Mist and Fury. Then we've got February, A Court of Frost and Starlight. Honestly, this book wasn't amazing. I just didn't read very much in February, so it did not have much competition. And then March, my book of the month was The Assassin's Blade. This is when I went to full scale reading journaling, and so I saved pages for a few other months that I ended up putting elsewhere, and that's fine. Like, I didn't know what I was doing in this journal, so eventually I'll go back. Or in my new journal, I don't expect to have as many blank pages. Then I started to use it as a bullet journal for a while before eventually getting a full separate bullet journal. Planned my new bullet journal out here. Then a couple blank pages. I think I just skipped these. I don't know why. This was like an accident. And then a couple of quote pages. Blank pages. I don't know why, but they're here just in case. I was playing with gradients here. Planning out my bullet journal there. A couple more quote pages. Spring break, like memory keeping here. Here I was playing with washi tape and some stickers. More quote pages. I was playing a lot with lettering. I got this from a Happy Planner like cover or divider, one of the plant-based ones. I was trying to mimic that lettering style. This is just a mess. I was playing with a serif font here and then just drew this bad snowman. Then more playing. So I've got this C here because I wanted to experiment with this rainbow. And then this pattern in the background with this lettering on top. Let's see. Then some swatches. I was going to do all my gel pens and then I got tired of that. More Crayola Super Tip swatching. I had an old set that had colors missing and colors drying out, and I had gotten a new set and I was just trying to make sure I could match each color in each set to each other so that my numbering and labeling was consistent. And then we get into my reading journal. So this was a Kanban board for videos. If you want to see more about this type of thing, this is inspired by Plant-Based Bride. I'll try to link her channel down below. But basically you have something that you can move around, and then you put it in whatever stage of the project process you're in. I ended up not liking this very much, but I was trying it at the time. And then we get into my like official reading journal. So here I set up a page to put my Goodreads goal. There are some covers missing here. And then that takes me through the end. And then March is the first month where I did a full setup. And here I didn't have any particular theme. I was just playing around with some dark green washi tape and a few stickers from the Happy Planner Botanicals sticker book. A TBR I didn't really get through. My Days Read spread, my reading log. I love my reading logs. Best book of the month, a read along that I was kind of following. And then my weekly pages. So here I've got a page per week, and in the month of March I was doing a horizontal setup. My wrap up at the end. This was actually a surprisingly big reading month because of spring break. So spring break happened in March. I had some extra time. Pages read graph at the bottom. And then when you get into my journaling pages, I try to journal for every book that I read, 1 to 2 pages, depending on how much I like the book. So this is a spread for A Court of Silver Flames. This is me practicing lettering, a few different styles with a quote from Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan. This is a journaling page for Winter's Heart. This is another page for The Assassin's Blade. This is for Shielded. So this was a Fairy Loot book of the month, and those always come with a character art print. So I just put the character art print over here and wrote about the book over here. I actually didn't really like that book. Then we've got a page for Lord and Lady Spy by Shauna Gallen. And then I had this extra page I didn't know what to do with, so I put this large quote sticker from Planning with Kay. And then here I put a list of my spring TBR. This is a page I made for the Spring of Spies romance read-along. I did not really keep up with it, but I read the first 2 books and was honestly like impressed. So I'm glad that they kept note of the others, because I'll probably go back and read some of them at some point. Then we get into the month of April. So April, I did like a cherry blossoms theme inspired by a Planning with Kay kit that I already had. I've got my TBR on one side. This is the month that I started a monthly overview. So I put in purple the day that I finished a book, and then kept track of any read-alongs that were happening in April. My reading log for the month of April. This page doesn't really change structure at all, and it's everything I need it to be, so it probably won't. Then we get into my weekly pages. So same setup as in March, just different colors, different doodles, a slightly different theme. My Days Read spread, and then my best book this month was This Golden Flame by Emily Victoria. And then this is the character art print with the read-along actual like calendar thing. Every month Fairy Loot has a read-along for their book of the month, and so this was for This Golden Flame. Then Air of Fire, there was a read-along for this. I did not keep up with this one at all, but I made a page for it just in case. We've got my wrap-up, so the books that I read in April, and then the pages read. Then we get into my journaling pages. So this is Chain of Iron. Here we've got a page for This Golden Flame. I like this because I cut this out and didn't glue some of the flames on. So there's some tactile 3-dimensionalness going on here. Then To Steal a Heart by Casey Bateman. Crossroads of Twilight by Robert Jordan. Air of Fire. I'm not the biggest fan of this page, but it is what it is. Then I started to keep track of my Fairy Loot stuff in here. So I've got my Fairy Loot theme art for March here, because the Fairy Loot boxes get shipped towards the end of the month, and then I usually get them in the start of the next month. I don't know if you can hear stuff in the background. My boyfriend has started talking on the phone, but I have closed the door. So at this time I took a picture of like all the stuff that came in the box, and then just wrote a little bit about whether I liked it or not and the stuff that I liked. And then we get into May. So this cover page was my first ill-fated attempt to work with acrylographs. I did not know what I was doing at the time. I still barely know. So I completely switched the rest of the setup to Crayola Super Tips, my TBR, my monthly calendar, my reading log. May was a big month. The school year was wrapping up, so I was really busy and did not read nearly as much as usual. Mixed up my weekly logs here, so I did different shapes of rounded rectangles, different sizes. This was a Dino Dreamland theme that was part of Planning with Kay's April or May, I think it was April Patreon. My day's read spread, as you can see, all of these white areas mean I did not read. And then I only read one book this month, so I didn't even bother trying to classify the best book of the month. I only read New Spring, which was a real-time prequel. I didn't bother with the pages read spread. I ended up finding that this graph was too small. I didn't like it, didn't want to deal with it. Another leftover page, I just put a quote sticker on. Then we have my April Fairy Loot stuff. So this is the theme art followed by an unboxing picture and then a little bit of journaling. New Spring spread where I was not reading a lot and I had left pages, so I decided to just take up a lot of space. Even though this book didn't change my life, like I didn't have 2 pages worth of stuff to say, so I did a lot of quotes and then my actual journaling over here. Then because I had extra pages, I used some of them to plan my spring wrap-up. So I put all the books down and I was referencing this during my spring wrap-up video. Extra pages here. This is because I put my monthly setup together fairly early, and so I don't always know exactly how many books I'm going to read a month before I need to start setting up my next month. At some point, ideally, I'd use these for something like a quote page or something, but not in this journal, maybe the next one. And then we get into the last month of this notebook. So June, which was sunflower themed, also using a Planning with Kay kit. My TBR, I actually got through about half of it, which impresses me. My monthly calendar page, I finished 4 books in the month of June. My reading log. My day's read spread. This time I did the tracker in the shape of a sunflower. This came out really nicely and it was fun to color in. My best book of the month was Knife of Dreams. So here I started to make the cover a little smaller so that I could write just a tiny bit about why I liked that book. My weeklies went back to being a basic horizontal tracker. That's because after all of these more complex and decorative pages, I started to get tired of the setup, but kind of wanted to just finish it. So I went back to my 1 page a day horizontal. Then my wrap-up section, and again I stopped bothering with the small pages read tracker. A big quote page, and then my book journaling pages. So I did this 2-page spread for the host on this green dot grid paper that came with a recent Archer and Olive subscription box. Then a spread for the book Brave Not Perfect by Reshma Swajani. And then instead of doing a whole situation for my fairy loot, I decided to just tape in the spoiler card so that I could see on one side the character art, and then on the other side there would be the list they already give me for what came in that box. And then it just wasn't as important to me to comment on it. I just wanted to know what came with each of my boxes, and didn't want to bother setting up and arranging an unboxing picture and printing it out and all of that. So this is working really well and I will keep doing this. It's kind of cool. I just put washi tape on both sides and it's like an extra page, and then I just rounded the corners out to match the rest of the book, and it's quite it's perfect. Then we get into my journaling pages for Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan. this book was wild. So I did 3 pages, which I've never done before, but I had so much I wanted to say, quotes I wanted to use, like so much happened here. And then the last book I read in June was The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, and so I did this 2-page spread. I wanted to do a lot of like I wanted to focus on a quote here, so I did this and then journaled a bit about the book. And then we've got 2 pages, yeah, 2 pages left, some sticky notes that I have, and then in the back I just keep a few random reading related stickers. And that's it. That's everything in my first reading journal. I'm so excited to have finished this. My second journal is all set up and ready to go, and my hope is that this will take me through the end of the year, the next 6 months, without having too many extra pages or not enough space. And I think that 6 months is probably going to end up being a good sweet spot for these reading journals, because I like to take up space with lots of layering, and I like to take the time to journal about every single book, even though it takes time, because it's fun for me. So that's what we're working with in this upcoming last half of the year. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.